Hey guys, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back. So a lot of stuff is changing and moving around in the NFL. And so for the Dallas Cowboys, haven't heard a lot from them. They tag Schultz, they bring back Noah Brown. They have indications that they don't want to bring back certain guys and stuff like that. So we're going to go over all that. Again, this is like a lightning pace type of situation in the NFL because you're seeing a lot of the moves. Russell Wilson is going to Denver. Carson Wentz is now back with Washington, or not back, but he's with Washington. But point being, there's a lot going on. So I want to take the time as of this official video. I understand that things could change, but right now I want to identify the needs the Cowboys have to address this offseason. And this is going to be my official list going forward of positions of need for the Dallas Cowboys in the free agency and the draft. So before we get started, if you can like the video, that'd be awesome. Doesn't take too long to do. Helps the video do better in YouTube's algorithm. On top of that, hit the subscribe button, that big red button down there. It doesn't take too long to do as well, so you get more content like this. About 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed, so I highly recommend doing that if you don't want to miss out on the latest content that comes out. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So this is going to be more podcast style. I'm looking at my spreadsheets, looking at my notes, determining kind of based off of what I'm hearing. I'm going to go try and go in order of position group, okay? So quarterback, you're fine. Dak had a deal restructured, or the paperwork's been filed, so that's going to save you a couple, about 15, 14 mil there. Nothing really much in the movement there. Running back wise, everybody's under contract with the exception of Corey Clement, so odds are he's gone, but again, nothing to worry about there. Other than maybe Zeke, I think Zeke you kind of had to think about, but that's down the road. I'm more focused on what can we add to this team right now. Now you get into the two positions of wide receiver and tight end. So at wide receiver, there are indications that the Dallas Cowboys want to move on from Amari Cooper, and we've talked about that, and the rumors are circulating that there's been a bit of a change of heart in the organization, that it's, they want to trade him. They've talked to teams, but the fact is that there could be a possibility, that he could return, but that I would say there's like a 20% chance that Amari Cooper returns to Dallas, because now Michael Gallup was looking to get paid on a long-term deal, and that is close, reportedly, through Dallas insiders. Michael Gallup is close to getting a contract extension. So I'm just going to go under the assumption that Cooper ain't coming back, and I hope I'm wrong there. I would love to have Cooper stay in Dallas, but it's kind of like full steam ahead with Gallup and Lamb going forward. Now, Noah Brown is back on this roster, and what I think this tells me is that Cedric Wilson will not be on the Cowboys next season, and there have been reports that, when you look at it, Cedric Wilson, I think they're out of the price range, which they offered him like $3 million, but allegedly. So if that's the case, we're looking at Gallup, Lamb, Noah Brown, Simi Fehoko, and TJ Vasher. So you bring back two of the guys that were a part of the group of four that were going to be leaving in free agency, but you also get rid of another. So really, two out of five, I guess you could say, yeah. But I think that for your wide receiving core, I think that is going to be a need. That's going to be a must-address need. You're going to need to add another receiver in there. You mean listen, I love Simi Fehoko and what he brings to the table, and Noah Brown, I think he needs more opportunities, but if we're going to be completely dead set honest, you're going to need to add another receiver. I think that you could look at a second or third round guy. The Cowboys have been looking at guys like Jalen Tolbert and Christian Watson. So keep an eye out on that. Now, tight end, the Cowboys' main concern was Dalton Schultz, and it looks like they are going to possibly sign him or try to sign him long-term. Now, here's the key thing. He was signed to a non-exclusive tag from what was reported. So what that means is that teams can still negotiate with Dalton Schultz, and if they want to pay him, they have to give the Cowboys some form of compensation, which can go up to, I think, a max of 2 first-round picks. So the question is going to be, like, is a team really going to be that interested in Dalton Schultz to give up some form of compensation? And I think that if the Cowboys managed to get a first-round pick or some form of compensation out of Dalton Schultz for this year, I would be amazed. But the thing is it seems like the Cowboys are very much interested in bringing back Schultz, which, sure, I don't think that Schultz is bad. I think that paying the guy $10 million for something you can get cheaper in the draft, considering, like I talk about wide receivers and tight ends, don't pay a guy top-level money or don't pay mid-tier guys top-level money. That's what I say. And you can argue that with any position, but specifically between running back and tight end and wide receiver. Blake Jarwin, I think he's done. You could see him gone. I haven't heard any indications that the Cowboys want to let go of Blake Jarwin, but that could be a case. Sean McEwen, he should be back, and I think that he's going to be your tight end too, which he should be. And I think that this means you got to get a late tight end. I think that if Schultz comes back, tight end is no longer a massive need for Dallas. I think now what you look at is you get a backup for in the event that you're gonna need someone on the back end, unless you think Sean McEwen's your guy and you pay him early. So those are right now the positions right there. I think tight end has resolved itself, assuming that Schultz comes back on a long-term deal. And wide receiver is going to be a need. Now, offensive line, I've already talked about this a bunch of times. Yes, that is going to be the biggest need, regardless of how you put it, any way, shape, or form. You're going to need offensive line. Now, it doesn't have to be a massive problem. So this is what you're looking at. You got Ty Neshke, Connor Williams, and Mitch Hyatt as the guys that are all your free agents, okay? So Connor Williams, it looks like he's not coming back. I think that's a given. There hasn't been any discussions between the Cowboys and him, so it doesn't look like he's coming back. So now the question now becomes, what is your plan? Because at center, you can improve. Tyler was okay, but I feel like you can do better there. Left guard is going to be the biggest need for this team. Yes, left tackle and Tyron Smith, him being out a bunch of times, that's a thing. But, the biggest thing is this. What I need to do, if I'm the Cowboys, is figure out what are you doing at right tackle. If you're going to do a competition between Lyle and Terrence Steele, this is what I would personally do. What I would personally do is I think that you could shuffle it around to put Lyle back at guard, and you don't really have to draft alignment, but, ever since Lyle got his contract, he's been meh. Moments he's looked okay and great, but it's hard because you have a lot of opportunity to, move stuff around. I think Josh Ball, a guy that, and me and Joe Rod from Cowboys Blog talked about it on a show we did the other day. I think that Josh Ball, is a very talented individual where what you should do is throw him at left tackle and just keep him there. I think you need to give Josh Ball some time to grow into that, and I think that that's the plan. You get a young guy at left tackle to develop, and maybe, I'm not banking on him being a future starter because I don't know how the Cowboys look at him, but for me, I think left guard and center are your biggest needs. Yes, Tyron Smith is definitely a big need. Like, you're going to need, if you can get a left tackle, that'd be awesome. But all indications are that the Cowboys do not want to let go of Tyron Smith. It is more likely that Tyron Smith retires than the Cowboys release him. So I think that based off of that, I think for the Cowboys, their needs are going to be the interior offensive line, specifically left guard and center. Okay, so left guard being the priority. So that's your offensive needs. Your offensive needs are left guard, wide receiver, center, and tight end. You go to the defense, and it's a bit of a different story. Okay, so we haven't heard any news on any of the defensive players coming back yet. So this video could, besides Luke Gifford, they were not going to give him the tender for his restricted free agency. So he is most likely gone in that instance, okay? So now the question is now, what do you first do at defensive end? Because now there's word because they wanted to give DeMarcus Lawrence a chance to take a pay cut. He said no, understandably so. So is he gone? And now the question is do you now have, now is edge a massive priority? Because you only have Terrell Basham and Chauncey Goldstein there. I don't know if Armstrong or Gregory will be coming back. Indications point to not likely. But if I'm the Cowboys, I feel like, if you move on from DeMarcus Lawrence, you need to bring a couple of these defenders back so you're not caught with your pants down. And that's the honest to God truth. So at your defensive line, and then you got Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, and Osa Odigizua, who I think, that's a really good rotation right there. I would love to bring Brent Urban back or Carlos Watkins, but if it were up to me, I think Brent Urban would be the guy I'm looking to bring back. And again, haven't heard any word on that. But I would say if that is the indication from the Cowboys that DeMarcus Lawrence could be a cut upcoming, I think edge rusher is going to be a must address as well, okay? So then you go to the linebackers. Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox are the only guys under contract, and without any doubt, linebacker is a need. Micah Parsons needs to be able to free roam, and that is where he does. That's what he has to do to be the best he can be. Now, if Van Der Esch comes back on a cheap deal, I can justify that. But I think if I'm Dallas, you're gonna still need to add a linebacker. Van Der Esch is hurt guy stay hurt, and I need my guys to have some form of a young talent. Like, yes, Jabril Cox is that, but add someone else in that mix. I think that you can add another guy in there. So linebacker is a must-address need. Cornerback, I think the Cowboys are good at corner. You can always draft a guy, but I think that the indication is that Anthony Brown could be a cap casualty as well. But again, even if you don't bring him back, I think that otherwise, Maurice Canada is the only, free agent corner. I think you're fine at corner. Doesn't hurt to get another one, though. Like I said. Safety. You have three guys. Jaron Kearse, DeMonte Casey, and Malik Hooker. So Jaron Kearse served as that Keanu Neal type of guy that we thought he was going to be, but, in reality it was Kearse. So reports from Dallas insiders are that they're working on bringing him back, and I think that he probably will be back, but unless something happens. I really do believe that Jaron Kearse is a huge, huge, important piece of this defense, and I think that by bringing him back, that would help out in the long term. I still think that and here's the thing, like, if you could bring back Malik Hooker, who I think was solid, KZ, you can improve that. Like, those guys, you can absolutely, similar to that, at your, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, your, now I'm blanking now. Your cornerback group, I apologize. Or center. You can improve on that. I think the biggest thing is that, if you can bring Jaron Kearse back and you let Malik Hooker go and DeMonte Casey go, that's fine. You can just draft another guy. And I think that there are plenty of guys out there that you can do that. But I think that safety is going to be a must-address position in the offseason. Now, we get to special teams. Now, from what's been... Now, we haven't heard anything about Greg Zuerlein. Bryan Anger is probably not coming back, and that's fine. I think that there are guys that you can draft. Yes, there are guys out there that you can draft who I think I would like to have. And again, the punting aspect of your team is a huge, huge key thing. Now, you do have Hunter Nicewander, who Cowboys fans liked, over Chris Jones. Now, I don't think that Hunter is better than Bryan Anger, but I think that the Cowboys... they need to address punter, and I think that is again, a must-address need. Kicker, yes, as well. They brought in Chris Nagar, but I think that for me, kicker is an easy-to-address situation. You can just cut Greg Zuerlein and find some kicker on the street that, like a Kai Forbath type of thing. And then your long snapper, Jacob McQuaid, haven't heard anything. He's probably going to be brought back. Again, you can get long snappers off the street. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of fully recap the Cowboys' needs going into 2022, it's your interior offensive line, left guard first, center next. Wide receiver is that next position that you're going to need to address. On top of that, linebacker, edge, and safety, and your punter. You know, it's kind of like an amalgamation of what you want to do there, because there are so many guys that you can get in. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if they got Dante Fowler, who I think helps you, but you still should draft a guy. I think a guy like KJ Wright, but also Bobby Wagner, who was released. I think if the Cowboys, listen, to be completely honest with you, if the Cowboys only got Bobby Wagner as their only goddamn player, I would take it. Like, as their big, like, you know, big, like, I don't think he's coming here, but if they took him, I'm cool with that. I think that getting a guy like Bobby Wagner and Micah oh my god, that would be un-goddamn believable. So I hope Dan Quinn pushes the Cowboys front office to pay for Bobby Wagner, because I think if you get a Bobby Wagner, I think the need for linebacker just diminishes. You should still draft one, but now you can focus on other needs. So that is the biggest thing. Running back is another thing. Defensive tackle as well. But those are secondary needs. So, yep. So linemen, I would say linebacker is your biggest need after that, assuming things continue to go the way they are. I would say then safety, wide receiver, edge, depending on what you do there. And then I would say that then running back and defensive tackle are like ancillary needs. But this is going to be a work in progress, so this video might not age well. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys. Bye-bye.